Hi guys, in a previous episode I said I was going to try and convert this little kit to radio control, so I thought I'd better bring you up to date with the progress. I've just cut down the rudders here, or the fins as they were. I've cut halfway through, bent them over and chamfered the edges, and then rubbed a little bit of hot glue over them to give them a bit of extra strength. Just a very thin smear of hot glue. Done that on both sides. Then I've put one of these little radio control receiver and servo combinations together. I think they come from a WL Toys helicopter. That's 2.4 gigahertz. I've got it rigged up to a single little LiPO battery at the moment, so we can I'll only be doing the rudder anyway. I'm not going to worry about speed control, because all you want to do with the hovercraft is turn it on or off. Ideally, if we had an ESC that would give us reverse, then I'd do that. As far as I can tell, this little servo and receiver combination should have an output for motors, but I don't know if they'd be powerful enough to control this motor. So rather than risk burning out the little little receiver, I'm just going to plug a battery directly into it, and I've got an on-off switch so I can just turn it on and off. Ready to try it. So we've got the receiver and servo, a thin piece of springy wire, plastic tube from a cotton bud to guide the wire. That comes round to the back here. Got a little rudder horn or elevator horn cut from a very thin piece of plywood. To make both rudders move at the same time, I've used another couple of bits of tubing from a cotton bud, just taped to the back of each rudder, and another bit of that springy wire, just linking them together. It's not particularly strong, but it should be good enough for what I want to do. I've left the battery loose in the front so that we can move it around to try and balance the hovercraft. And that's the switch for the motor. I've given it a little test, and we haven't got enough movement on the rudder to get full manoeuvrability, certainly not within the area that we've got here. I also think because there's a bit of a gap at the back here, there's a lot of air escaping this way, pushing it forwards, and that's overriding the rudder steering. So I might have to put some tape on there to fill the gap. But I'll give it a little demonstration as it is so we can see it. Yeah, full left at the moment just gives it straight ahead, whereas full right does give us a turn. I'll put some tape on there to fill in that gap. Well, that bit of tape on the back, closing the gap in the skirt, seems to have helped. I'm going to go and move the camera so we've got a better view of it moving. stuck. Probably hear the engine notes dropped a little bit, so that the LiPo's running down. You may also notice I've stuck the LiPo right over on that side to get the balance, but that was collapsing the skirt a bit all the way over there. Still, on the original build I couldn't get the skirt to work at all, so this is an improvement. I think that'll do. We've done what we set out to do. We've got a working rudder, and that's the first time I've had a chance to try out that little receiver and servo setup, so fairly pleased with that. Job done.